What's up, Key Issues? Garrick here, and we're back with another explained video because honestly, we haven't invented the technology to beam this knowledge directly into your brain, but believe me, our engineers are hard at work. For those of you who have seen the new Aquaman trailer, you might have recognized the minor appearance of Aquaman's arch nemesis, Black Manta. Today on Key Issues, we want to take a look at the comic history of Black Manta and give you all the information you need in order to stay cool. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell to become legendary so you don't miss any Key Issues content, and let us know if there's any legends down in the chat. As a child, David Hyde lived with his father on a houseboat, earning a local reputation as both a diver and a treasure hunter. Later on, he and his father started looking for the elusive Black Pearl. This Black Pearl allows the user to gain hydrokinetic abilities, and David began his search in the Bermuda Triangle because, honestly, where else are you going to look? There, he discovered the lost Atlantean kingdom of Zebel, where he seduced a woman in an attempt to gain a map, leading him to the Black Pearl. But Lucia sensed the evil within David, so she gave him a dummy map. Unable to find the Pearl, David continued on with a criminal life and garnered some notoriety, eventually being contracted by Dr. Stephen Shin to procure a sample of Arthur Curry's blood to prove that he was an Atlantean. During David's attack, Arthur's father, Thomas, suffered a heart attack and died 3 days later. Arthur swore revenge, and on the day of his father's funeral, he stormed the boat belonging to the man that he believed responsible for his father's death. In the rain and darkness, Arthur murdered Hyde's father by mistake, on the assumption that he was actually the killer. Obviously, this pissed off David, so he crafted some weapons, some armor, and he went hunting for the killer. When Arthur became publicly known as the hero Aquaman, David took the name of Black Manta. Black Manta and Aquaman would battle constantly throughout the years, but when Aquaman married Mera and became a member of the Justice League, Manta had a new purpose. He wanted to rip both Mera and the Justice League from Aquaman. Manta was eventually contracted by an Atlantean named Vulko to retrieve the scepter of the first king of Atlantis. And if you'd like to know more about Vulko, click the card. Knowing that he would need the other Atlantean artifacts to find the seventh, Black Manta went on the hunt, eventually defeating Mera in the process. Aquaman and the others eventually ambushed Manta, and this time Aquaman defeated Manta for good, and he was sent to Belle Reve Prison, where Amanda Waller attempted to recruit him into the Suicide Squad, but he declined. Not long after this, the crime syndicate attacked Belle Reve, and Manta was able to make his escape, and eventually met the syndicate at the Justice League headquarters, where he was given Aquaman's trident. He eventually teams up with Lex Luthor, Black Adam, Bizarro, Captain Cold, Batman, and Catwoman to defeat the crime syndicate. Black Manta joins this group of unlikely heroes because Ultraman moved the moon, which caused a tidal wave which washed away Manta's father's grave, which obviously pissed him off, and there's nothing more that Black Manta likes than some sweet, sweet revenge. After the syndicate is defeated, Black Manta gives the trident back to Aquaman, saying that he's glad Arthur isn't dead. Now, you may be a little confused here. Why would Black Manta, Aquaman's greatest enemy, be glad that Aquaman was alive? Well, during this time fighting the crime syndicate, Manta realized that if Aquaman was really dead, then he'd have nothing to live for. So, in a midlife crisis, he volunteers to join the Suicide Squad, and after a brief stint with the squad, he is eventually freed from the team and goes right back to terrorizing Aquaman until one day when King Shark shows up and tells him that he got his ass beat by the Teen Titans. And there was a kid who had hydrokinetic abilities, the same powers that Black Manta had set out to gain all those years ago. Turns out this kid is his son, Jackson Hyde. So Manta tracks down his son, and wouldn't you know it, Jackson has a map to the Black Pearl. After obtaining the Pearl and finally gaining the powers that he had long coveted, he stomps the Teen Titans before nearly being killed by his son Jackson, who goes on to become Aqualad. Now let's talk a little bit about his powers. So just being a regular old human, Black Manta doesn't really have any kind of inherent super abilities. Instead, he has all of the abilities that any man would need to battle superhumans on the regular. He has advanced hand-to-hand combat, above-average reflexes, speed, and strength, a genius-level intellect, and spending much of his life in water, he's an exceptional swimmer. But his most well-known weapon is his helmet, which, again, shoots frickin' laser beams, and it doesn't get much cooler than that. So that's all I got for you today. I'd like to give a huge shout out to our Patreon supporters. You can see them on the screen right now. And in particular, I'd like to say thank you to Schrodinger's Loki, who is in the highest tier of our Patreon and gets a verbal shout out at the end of all of our videos. So thanks for watching, everybody. Remember to like and subscribe if you did enjoy this video. It does really help us out. Let us know down in the comments if you're excited to see Black Manta on screen and even the possibility of seeing Aqualad at some point. Remember the motto, everyone. It's comics over everything, and I'll see you guys next time.